Hello, and welcome to the Youngfolk Knits podcast. This is episode 14. Hello y'all, and welcome to the Youngfolk Knits podcast. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. If you're new here, then my name is Casey. You can find me on Instagram at youngfolk.knits and on Ravelry at Kaciapple. This is a podcast mainly about knitting. There's also some sewing and crochet and all kinds of different crafts. I am a beekeeper and we live on a small farm in Arkansas. So there's also a bit of farm news that I like to share. And I can't believe it, but we are already in mid-March. So this month is already flying by. And that means that the Bees Are Friends Knit Along, which is being hosted by Becky, who is found on Instagram under A Hand Knit Letter, and myself are hosting. And there has just been quite a few new projects pop up in the last little bit because I think everybody is trying to finish up. And I have just been stunned by how beautiful all of them. I love every single one that has been posted, and I think it's just a beautiful shawl. In case you haven't seen some of the previous episodes, what we're doing in this knit along is knitting the Humblebee shawl, which is a design by Lerka from Fibre Tales, and you can use any yarn that you would like to, and you can finish or not finish. There's no pressure. If you do want to finish by March the 31st, so the last day of March, then you're eligible to win one of many prizes that are absolutely amazing. And you can find more details about that in some previous episodes and also on my Instagram page. So this is probably the last podcast that I will be recording before the end of the knit along, because I try to record a podcast every other week, every 2 weeks, usually on Friday or Saturday. And next Friday, either Friday or Saturday, is the first day of April. But hopefully the next podcast that I record, Becky will be here with me, and if not the next podcast and the one after, we'll be able to announce the winners and show some of the beautiful shawls that have already been knitted and chat a little bit about our Humblebee shawls together. So I'm really looking forward to that. But you guys still have close to 2 weeks to finish up your shawl, or if you want to cast on. I think that's very doable to knit the shawl in 2 weeks if that's what you're focused on, because it's a DK weight shawl, and all of the hard part is at the very beginning. You cast on all of your stitches and then you decrease from there, and you also do your lace and baubles section for the little bees at the beginning, and then after that it is mindless garter but also decreases, so it's getting smaller and smaller, and the end goes so very quickly. So I think that 2 weeks is enough time definitely to cast on and knit a shawl with us. And even if you cast on and you don't think you'll be able to finish, that's fine. The only thing that means is that you won't be eligible to win a prize, but we would still absolutely love for you to knit it with us. So feel free to do that. Just make sure to use the hashtag Bees Are Friends Knit Along so that we can see your projects. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the first segment, and we'll move into what I'm wearing. today I am wearing a shawl by, is it Isabel Kramer? Ooh, I just forgot. I need to look that up. I'll put it on the screen. Her Instagram name is completely different than her name, so I'll have to put that on the screen. But this is a girl's best friend shawl, and it is knit out of Union Fibre, who Bonnie is the dyer, and she lives in, ooh, I want to say, is it New Zealand or Australia? But she dyes the most beautiful, moody, gorgeous yarn colorways, and I love everything that she dyes. So I saw these 3 colors in one of her updates, and I immediately thought that they would be beautiful in a Girls Are Friends shawl. And I wanted to do it because even though these are dark, moody colors, I actually think that this is a wonderful summer and spring shawl that I like to wear over a white tank top as just like a little bandana type scarf, or over a white t-shirt, which is what I'm actually wearing today. It's in the upper 60s, so it's not cold at all, and it's very humid, so I've got on my short sleeves. But this isn't heavy, and it doesn't make me hot on nice cool days like this, so it's perfect. And with a tank top, I really like it. Even on a cool summer night, I think this is just really cute to wear with jeans, a white tank, and some sandals. So I love this outfit. So let me show you up close. So there's some really pretty texture in this purplish, brownish color. I think it's called Garnet. And I believe that this yarn actually has merino and linen blend. I'll have to look back at my ball bands. But I do remember this color is called Garnet. And then you have this gray color, which I did the lace sections with. And then this kind of ochre greenish color I did my ribbing and accent stripes with. It's also got these really cute baubles and this, what is it, 3x1 rib or 2x1 rib? 3x1, it's 3x1 rib, and then you have these little sections of garter. But as you can see, it's really not a big shawl. Now, the original pattern calls for 3 little pom-poms that you attach on the side right here. One in the middle, I think, and then a couple right here close to it, if I remember correctly. But I really didn't want that for the way I was going to wear it, so I did not add those. But I really, really love wearing it, just kind of like a bandana, and I don't wear it up really tight around my neck, and I just kind of tuck the ends under. But as you can tell, it's not a large shawl, so I think it's perfect. And I really, really have got a lot of wear out of this. I'm starting to see that unless it's very cold, which I do absolutely love a big shawl that I would mainly wear in the house to wrap around my shoulders. But I really like these small to medium sized shawls that I can wear kind of as a triangle scarf slash bandana. It works well for the Arkansas climate that I live in. So I have really enjoyed this pattern, and I did not aggressively block this. I really just blocked it enough to open up the lace and open up the 3x1 rib at the bottom of the shawl. But yes, I highly recommend this pattern. And most of the shawls that I have seen knitted from this pattern are more of a lighter, brighter colors. I thought this was just something that would be way more wearable for me. So I am very, very happy with this and how it turned out. Highly recommend. Okay, so I have absolutely 0 finished objects this week. So the last time that I podcast, I had just cast on for a test knit that I am working on. And in the 2 weeks since then, we've had a few things that have just made the last 2 weeks a little difficult. We've lost a couple of friends that were dear people that we loved. Both were lost to cancer, and it was expected, but also just some very sad last 2 weeks. And while normally knitting is something that I love to immerse myself in to help me just have something to occupy my mind, occupy my hands, I feel like I have been in quite a bit of a brain fog. I don't know how else to explain it the last 2 weeks. And even the simplest of instructions on a knitting pattern have felt somewhat overwhelming, and I've had to go back and redo things multiple times. So I haven't got very far. I don't have just a ton of projects or progress to show you guys, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what I have completed so far. All right, so last week I showed you guys that I was working on the test knit for Lyrica of Fibre Tales, and this is the Vildnis sweater. I hope I'm saying that right. I need to listen to her podcast again and see how she says it. So I need to split I'm at the point where I need to split for this sleeves, but I haven't got to knit at all today, so I'll have to do that later tonight. But the texture of this I absolutely love. There's a few things on here that I actually have never done before. First of all is it's not difficult at all, but it's just something that I've never worked a pattern that had it in it. And this, I believe this is called a welt. I'm not for sure what the exact name of the technique is, but I love this little detail. I think it's really cute. And the neckline I think is really pretty. The ribbing and folded over collar. And then you've got all these beautiful details, which you'll probably need to buy the pattern too when it comes out to I won't give away too much about all the little details, but I also had never worked herringbone stitch before. So you've got this big section of herringbone stitch, and that that is the main thing. It's not wildly difficult, but it did require me to focus, and that is one of the main things that I went through it and I had to rip back and do it again. And I just got distracted. So that's not really what I would call TV knitting. I'm completely through all of the texture, so from this point on I'll just be doing stockinette stitch and sleeves, and I am super excited to wear this. I decided to try it on. So this is gonna be the Vildnis sweater, and as soon as I saw it on her Instagram page, I knew I wanted to test it because I actually don't have very many, I don't have any gray, well, any gray anything, and I don't have a whole lot of this natural color in much of anything either. I have so many things in rust and browns and greens because that's my absolute favorite, pale rosy pinks. But I really needed a sweater that was very neutral and very natural, and I thought this would be perfect, but still have a little bit of texture, which is nice because it can be a very neutral piece of clothing, but still have a lot of visual interest and depth to the fabric with that texture. So I'm excited. Plus, then I can wear a really pretty colored shawl or scarf with it. Whoops, I just dropped some stitches there. So hopefully next time I podcast, I'll have, I don't know, I think it's doable to finish this by then because I'm starting to get some of my knitting focus back, but we'll see. I'll at least have a sleeve because I need to, for the test, I need to finish the yoke in a sleeve, and the yoke is done. I just need to do a sleeve now. Okay, so for my next project, this is about 10 minutes worth of knitting and that's it, but it's so cute. I have to show you guys. This is the Sunday sock by Petite Knit, and I'm making this for one of my children, and I am obsessed. The squish factor is unbelievable. So I am using yarn from Woolberry Fibre Co. And I am a member of their collective, and what that means is you sign up and you pay. It's basically a subscription. This was February's month and had something to do with love, or I can't remember, but it's so pretty. And this is the Heron weight base. It's super wash merino, and it doesn't have any nylon in it. But I am making a pair of socks for one of my kiddos with it, and I think that it's just going to be perfect, especially for comfy indoor wearing. But the funnest part of this is seeing this yarn knit up. Now I know that this is going to make a lot of people mad when I say this, but I have to say I do kind of think that some yarn that is hand dyed with the speckles and the variegation and all the different colors in it, I think that some of it does look a little bit prettier in the skein than it does knit up. Not that it doesn't look stunningly gorgeous knit up, it's just that sometimes that skein is the piece of art itself, wrapped and twisted, and it's gorgeous. I don't even want to knit it because it's so pretty. I just want to look at it. But this is, it's so much better even as I'm knitting it up. I'm loving every minute of this colorway already. So this is a Sunday sock by Petite Knit, as I mentioned earlier. It's an Heron weight, and the whole thing is 2x2 ribbing until you get past the heel, and then the bottom of the foot is stockinette and the top of the foot continues to 2x2 ribbing. I feel like these will go really, really quick, and I have been promising these socks for quite a while, and I've been doing so much selfish knitting that I haven't delivered on that yet. So I think this is going to be a great sock. The colors are perfect, and the Heron weight makes it thick and cozy and a faster knit as well. So I'm just knitting the smallest size in the socks, which I don't think is technically a children's size, but I'll just adjust the length, and I think it's going to be perfect. All right, so that is all I have for works in progress, but I do have a few things that I want to show you in acquisitions.
with you.
So the only thing that is new that I'm going to show you is these first 2 skeins of yarn. The rest is all things that I have bought a while back and I've been hoarding. But I want to show you because I have some plans for them. First of all, since I just talked about the Petite Knit Sunday socks in the woolberry yarn, I'll just go ahead and show you this gorgeous little baby. This is the same colorway on their fingering weight tweed. It's called the berry tweed. And it is 100 gram skein, but it's got 438 yards in it. And I mean, the colors in this are fantastic. So I have plans that these are going to be turned into, is it called the DRK Everyday Socks? Anyway, it's her ribbed socks. And I've not knit them before because I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the ribbing that goes all the way around the foot, even on the bottom, because I'm very sensitive to texture and touch and the way things feel. But everybody seems to love them so much that I've decided I definitely want to knit a pair. And so this is going to be a pair of those for myself, and then a pair for another one of my children, which has an even smaller foot than the Heron weight socks. So it'll be 3 pairs of somewhat matching socks in all ribbed, and they'll be all ribbed socks. And I think those are going to be really, really cute and fun, and I cannot wait. Okay, the next thing that I got in very recently is that I went ahead and ordered the rest of the yarn that I'm going to need for the Fibre Tails sweater. And this is from Ampersand Fibres, and it is the color 001 by it is the color 001, and it is their Caslon fingering, and I love it. I love the color. It's such a neutral, but it's still so beautiful, and there's so many different tones in it. I really, really like it. So this is a 100% US Corriedale yarn, and it's got 400 yards per 100 gram skein, and it is a 3-ply. I really love it. I've done lots of spit splicing with this yarn. Highly recommend this. You should definitely try it. You can find it at shoplamercerie.com, and she has beautiful colorways. Okay, back on the sock yarn train. I have fallen into a massive addiction to Nomadic yarns over the last year. They're self-stropping yarn. So I'm going to show you all of the colorways that I have from her. First of all, this one. It is called Cold Snap. I'm obsessed. I got it this winter. And this is their twisty sock base. So it's 80-20 superwash merino and nylon. And I cannot wait to knit a pair of socks out of these. And what my plan is for it to also be the DRK Everyday Socks, because I want some good just hit myself in the face with that tag. I want some good ribbed socks, and I think those sound like they're gonna be perfect. Another pattern for ribbed socks that I really love is the one by Emily Foden, and it's called Favorite Socks, or My Favorite Socks, or Emily's Favorite Socks. But you can look, I'll link it in the description below, and you can look at it on Ravelry. So something that I have just absolutely gone nuts over from Nomadic Yarns is her yak base. I haven't found a yak base from very many places, but also another shop that is now started to die some again, she had it before, is Playful Day Yarns. Oh, she has beautiful, beautiful colors. Unfortunately, I had just bought like 4 skeins from Nomadic Yarns, so I wasn't able to purchase any from her last update. But I have planned, I hope she'll dye some more on her yak base. So This is 437 yards for 100 grams, and it's 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. So she dyes the same colorways on multiple bases, and she'll put the bases of the same colorway next to each other. Everything she dyes on the yak base takes the dye so much differently. It's such a moodier, darker, muted color than the, for instance, the ones with the 80-20 blend, and I love it. So this is called Child, and I don't know what the reference is. I don't know what that has to do with. It seems like she names her colorways from books and movies, and I don't know, maybe that has to do with Yoda from The Mandalorian. Y'all are all probably laughing at me because you know exactly what it's from and I don't, but anyway, I love it. I think it's beautiful. The next color I got is called Honey Bear, and this is also on her yak sock. If you see this colorway dyed on the 80-20 blend or some of her other blends without the yak in it, this is like a bright turquoise color. It's just totally different, and I really love all of the colorways more dyed on the yak base. And then this one is not yak, and you can see what I mean by how the colors look. This is called Knit Folk, and look at the colors. They're very bright, very saturated. And there's lots of like lime green and turquoise and deep purple and lavender color. And all of these are gonna be ribbed socks is my plan that I'm gonna be knitting over the next year. I would really like to get quite a few made up. So I'll have more everyday type socks to wear this fall and this winter. I feel like most of the socks I've made so far are kind of fancy socks, and not only because they're handmade or hand knit, but they're really like fancy lace work or color work, and not necessarily socks that even if I had bought them that I would wear on a daily basis. So I want some more just plain, simple, easy to wear socks. So I also have some very exciting news. There's a lovely pattern designer on Instagram. You can find her under, I'll put it on the screen, V-E-R-T. So I'm not sure if that's Vert or Vert and Rose. And she is designing just one beautiful pattern after another. I've really loved all of them. And she has just released the Malwina sweater, or Malwina. I think it's probably Malwina. So it's so difficult. I only read these names and I rarely say them out loud, so I'm not sure if I am pronouncing them correctly, but it is this absolutely stunning sweater. It has a really nice simple body, but it has these beautiful cable details, these elegant puff sleeves, and then this beautiful lace on the bottom of the bell sleeves. She has very generously donated patterns, so I get to give that away to one of you guys. She also gave me a copy of the pattern, and I'm excited to start picking out some yarn to knit that, because I believe it's Heron, that she knit it in Heron weight. I'll have to look again at the pattern, but it was a heavier weight yarn, so I know it's gonna go quickly, and I'm very excited about that. She knit it in a very pretty dusty rose color, and I'm having trouble deciding what color I want to knit it in, because I think that the dusty rose is my favorite, but I can also see it in a beautiful cream, or, you know, my go-to rust. Just so many different colors. I just think it would look good in almost every color. So to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is in the comment below, let me know what color you would knit this pattern in, and I will announce a winner on the next podcast and get that pattern sent to you on Ravelry. So thank you so very much for generously donating this pattern. I am super excited because she is currently working on a new design that is a cardigan, and it looks like it's wrapped and it ties maybe on the side. She hasn't finished it yet, so I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it looks like it's gonna do. And it has this gorgeous detailing. And I think she's knitting it in 2 strands of either mohair or surrey. I, of course, can't do mohair, but I think 2 strands of surrey would be absolutely beautiful. So I really, really, really want to knit that new design as well. But if you don't want to wait for the giveaway to end and you want to go ahead and make sure you get a copy of it on sale, it is 20% off through Sunday. So go check that out on Ravelry. So before I go, I did want to add that on Instagram, I had asked if anyone had any questions or any topics that they would like for me to discuss in the podcast. And I got quite a few different topics. Mainly though, there were a lot of questions about photography, filming, chickens, bees, and surprisingly my hair and makeup. And I'll talk about some of those, briefly maybe at the end of each podcast. Also, if you have any questions that you'd like for me to answer, please feel free to put them in the comments and I'll add them to the list. Today, I just wanted to talk about the most popular question, which had to do with photography and editing and videography. So first of all, I'll start with saying that I am a photographer. So I had started a photography business in 2017, and due to a unexpected and very scary health-wise pregnancy, I was not able to continue with that, and things have gotten so busy with other details that I don't really do much with the photography on a regular basis. Sometimes here and there I'll do a little job. So I use a Canon. I use a Mark V, and it's a lot of camera. I think that it is a wonderful camera if you're going to be taking pictures professionally. I don't think that it is needed to make that kind of investment to take good pictures. I take many of my pictures that I put on Instagram with my iPhone. Now, there's a few things that whenever you take pictures with any camera, especially your iPhone, it's no different, or your phone of any kind that you use. A couple of tips. Even if you don't think that it needs to, clean off your lens before you take a picture. Just if you've got a nice soft t-shirt, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for a camera, but your phone, if you've got a really nice soft t-shirt, clean the lens of your camera off. Just do it. Just trust me. Even if you don't think it needs it, you'd be surprised. Sometimes there's a film over it that you can't even see. It's not like a speck of something, but sometimes there's a film over it. So very, very important. Second, natural lighting. Absolutely one of the best things for photography. Everything looks better in natural, indirect light, not direct light. I don't ever photograph anything in direct light. So clean your lens off, indirect light. Those are 2 of my #1 tips. I do edit all of my pictures on my computer. I use Lightroom, and I have developed a preset for myself that I like the settings on that I use for pretty much all my pictures, so it's really quick. So even though I have to transfer it to my computer, it goes really quickly for me to be able to edit that way. But you can get a lot of presets for Lightroom Mobile that you can download the app on your phone, and I think there's some really beautiful presets that you can buy. So that's also an option that you could look into. That is all I have to share today. Thank y'all so very much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Happy knitting!
Draw